What's up everyone, SuperaTom here, and so today was the day that our Canadian ethers arrived, and I'm sure that many of us have been waiting for this moment. The claims have been, he's cute, he's amazing, he's my main DPS now, child, and D-look, you are out. Well, I'm sorry child, and D-look. But well, those are some of the claims really, and I'm sure for those who love Kazuha, I can be pretty certain that you've already tried to pull him by now. But for those who might still be wondering whether he's worth spending your Primo Gems on, then stay right here because I'll be going in depth on Kazuha in this video. Now, this video was a bit late, but I wanted to have an intensive look into Kazuha to really get the feel of his playstyle and team comp before I make this video, because I want to be as useful to you as possible. And so, without further ado, let's just jump right in. So, my first impression when you started using Kazuha is that he is absolutely a very smooth character to use. Everything about his attack and skills just chains together really well. Heck, he even got the most beautiful attack animation in the game. After Kuching, of course, bias, but truly I absolutely adore his attack animation. It looks super good. That teleport animation on his 5th attack and how he puts back his sword, amazing, just love it. It just feels like MiHoYo puts a lot of thoughts in his animation. Even his charge attack got a super beautiful ending animation where he puts back his sword with style. And as I've said, chaining his combo and skill together feels really good. Kazuha E skill is very unique. It quickly pushes him into the air and you get to do a plunging attack that sucks in the enemies. I know that you might be saying it's something Venti can also do, but what's good about Kazuha is he can do it very quick. For Venti, he takes quite a while for you to hold down his E skills, and furthermore, Kazuha E skills has really low cooldown, so you can use this attack in very quick session, chaining it into some beautiful looking combo. So that's my first impression of him. Now I'll just quickly go through his toolkit again with you. His normal attack has 5 attack animation and you deal a total of 8 hits. It's okay scaling, nothing that's out of this world. His E skill pushes you into the air while sucking in the enemies that was around its AoE, and while airborne, if within 10 seconds you use a plunging attack, Kazuha will plunge down, dealing anemo damage while creating a small black hole that sucks in the enemy. But it will not be as powerful as Venti. You can also hold down your E skill too for greater damage, but I don't mostly use that because pressing down E skill really has lower cooldown for you, so you can spam that skills a lot faster. His bursts first have a single slash that deals high anemo damage. Afterward, it creates a field that deals AoE anemo damage over times, which is a total of 6 hits to be exact. Now, if his burst comes in contact with an element, it will infuse his burst with that element and will deal additional elements of that type, which is amazing at breaking shields. For his talents, if his E skills comes in contact with an element when cast, it will absorb that element, and when he plunge, he will deal an additional 200% elemental damage of that type. Again, this is going to help Kazuha break shields so much faster. Now, his second talent is what makes him an amazing support character, is that every time Kazuha triggers a swirl reaction, he will grant teammates a 0.04 elemental damage bonus to their corresponding element based on Kazuha elemental mastery for 8 seconds, which is amazing. As you can see from Kazuha in the trial, he has a bit over 700 elemental masteries, and if we're able to trigger the swirl reaction, he's basically giving the whole teams a 30% elemental damage bonus, and getting around 700 elemental mastery on Kazuha isn't going to be very hard. Now, for his constellation, as always, it's not a must, but if you're going for his cons and want to be as resourceful with your Primo Gems as possible, then C1 is actually all that you need. It decreases his E cooldown by 10%, which is really good. Pair that up with a double anemo and you get a 15% cooldown shorten. Using his burst also reset the cooldown of his E skill too, so that's also good. However, if you want to make the most out of Kazuha's support, then C2 is your best bet. During his burst, Kazuha gets an additional 200 EM, which gives your team an additional 8% elemental damage boost, while also giving another 200 EM to the character that is within the field. It does not stack here, means that Kazuha himself himself won't be getting that 200 EM bonus as well, and he will only get it once. C3 and C5 are the same. C4 is not immersed because it focuses on giving Kazuha more energy recharge, which can easily be fixed by team comps and energy recharge stats in artifacts. Plus its burst only requires 60 energy, so that's not that much. As far as C6 is where it's different. It allows Kazuha to become a much better DPS if you choose him to, but again most of us won't be getting to C6, so there's not really much need to focus too much on this. Now for his builds, his weapons, the Iron Sting is going to be your best bet when it comes to a 4-star weapons. I haven't got the Iron Sting yet, so I won't be able to showcase it, but of course if you can get your hands on any of the 5-star weapons, then they all fit for him. Obviously the Freedom Swan is going to be his best weapon as a 5-star. His artifacts, unless you're going for DPS, I don't think why you wouldn't want to choose a 4-piece VV set, because it's just hands down the best set for him to support the whole team. For the stats of the Sands, Goblets and Circlet, I would say just save this bet. It's going to be full Elemental Mastery because it's just going to be buffing your team even better while increasing your swirl damage on Kazuha. Also, if you're planning on C6 Kazuha later on, he will also get his attack buff based on the amount of EM he has got. As for party setup, oh my god, I have to say that Kazuha is going to be a character that literally fits in every single team except for physical team comp, and I am sorry to say but he will not fit into Shao team comp as well. He can also benefit very well with 2 Anemo character team comp, and that's also very good because of more energy recharge and elemental resonance for him, so you can actually run him in a Venti team. For let's say he will do very well in Venti team. For a physical team, he won't bring much to the table because he buff elemental damage, and since Eula and Razor are the 2 main physical DPS as of now, they won't fit with Kazuha, and so does Shao. Sorry to say, the only thing that Kazuha can bring is energy recharge. You can actually quickly use Kazuha's E skills and swap to Shao for energy recharge and it still works, but Kazuha cannot buff Anemo and Geo elemental damage, which is kind of sad, so he will not benefit Shao as much as our Sucrose would be able to, since she has access to Thrilling Tales of Dragons. So apart from that, there are a lot of different team comp that you can run with Kazuha. You can have double Anemo with Pyro or any other 2 element of Electro, Hydro or Cryo. You can have a freeze team comp because Kazuha can be very good with swirling and applying multiple elements, especially during his burst. So if you have, let's say, Chongyun as a main DPS with Xingqiu's burst up, you will be able to utilize Kazuha for freeze team comp very well. There's a lot of different team comp you can build with Kazuha, and I might need to do a separate video on this because I don't want to keep this video too long. So that's basically an overview of Kazuha and his potential. Now I want to quickly look into his strength and weaknesses. For Kazuha's strength, first and foremost, he is super easy to play. His attack and skill combo really fits well with each other, and he also fits in almost any team comp and can provide really great attack support for your elemental characters. He does not need a lot of investment. His weapons can be the Iron Stings, which is an F2P weapon, so everyone can basically get it. Artifact build doesn't require that much of a good substat. You will only need to focus on the 3-piece elemental mastery on his set. He also doesn't have much trouble with energy recharge. His burst only requires 60 energy, and pressing his E skills already provides him around 2 to 3 particles, so even if you have him around 110 energy recharge, he should be able to do fine without Anemo Resonant. But obviously having another Anemo character in your team will also help his burst much faster. Now here's another things to note. His burst actually snapshots, guys. That is an amazing thing. It's snapshot with Bennett's burst, meaning if you cast his burst in Bennett's burst, Kazuha burst gets a boost for its whole durations. And also, since WoW has a huge buff in patch 1.6, Kazuha was greatly benefited from this, so even though he may not be a main DPS, his swirl damage, especially from his burst, will actually help your team damage quite significantly. And then as for his weaknesses, I would probably say that he's not a great character with crowd control. Even though his E skill does allow him to suck in enemies, his pulling power is nowhere near that of Venti. The best thing that it can do is once it sucks the group of enemies, in, it will stop them from moving anywhere else. However, if you're able to consistently spam his E skill, then you will still be able to pull quite a number of enemies together. So it's not to say that it doesn't really do anything. And I would say that's pretty much the only weakness I can see from Kazuha right now. Seriously guys, I don't want to hype him too much, but he is actually a really good character once you get your hands on. With that, however, here's my thoughts on Kazuha and suggestions to whether you should get him or not. Is that if you enjoy him and love him, I'm sure you've already by now tried to get Kazuha, but for those who are still thinking about him, what Kazuha will be best beneficial for is for the players who are in the end game, where you are looking to clear the abyss and other tough difficulty events that MiHoYo is providing you. If you're earlier into the game, like let's say AR 40 and below, Kazuha won't bring you too much benefit because the game is pretty easy. That's one. And secondly, if you're already got either Venti or a build Sucrose and you're stuck on Primo Gems, then Kazuha is not a need, because what Kazuha can do, Venti and Sucrose can fill into those spots. So to best save your Primo Gems later on for other characters, Kazuha is not a must. So those are my thoughts on Kazuha. Let me know what everyone thinks down in the comment section. I hope the video have been helpful to you. If it did, be sure to subscribe to my channel as I post daily content bringing you the latest guides, news and update on Genshin Impact with some funny moments as a cherry on top. With that, this is Tom wishing everyone a super day.